Hello and welcome to Community Chats. I'm your host, Aley Hammer, and today we're joined with Mark Whitmore from Directed. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you start by sharing a little bit about Directed Technologies?
Thanks, Ellie. Thanks for having us on AWS Community Chat. Directed is a connected services company. We like to talk about our company as creating the digital plug that plugs the vehicle into the cloud and into the business of our customers. We're a little bit unique in that we work with vehicle manufacturers and we build programs on their behalf. We're very privileged. We work with Mercedes Benz trucks. We work with Hino Motors, which is part of the Toyota group. We work with Iveco, PACCAR, and a range of different passenger vehicle brands as well. What's really interesting about our business is that we represent brands which are based in North America, in Asia and Europe. So it really puts us at the global epicenter of, I guess, the connected services revolution. We are a full stack provider, so we manufacture our own hardware in our SMT line based out in Melbourne, so that's a little bit unusual, and we provide all of the web and database cloud-based services associated with our programs. So yeah, we're really an amazing company with a really sort of, I guess, privileged set of customers.
Wow, that sounds like an incredible product. And as you mentioned, you definitely do work with some of the leading names, including Mercedes Benz, Ford, Mitsubishi, just to name a few. So what is it that you're actually doing with AWS and how has this helped your customers?
Yeah, so all of our OEM programs are hosted in the cloud under a multi-tenant arrangement. So this means we have the ability to service unique programs under a common infrastructure. And that's really been critical for our growth and our success. So, being able to use the AWS Cloud as our centralized hosting point, has been the backbone of our business. And, when we're working with clients, of the pedigree that I've described, as soon as we sort of say that the data's on AWS, there's almost like a sense of release that sort of, flows through the room. One of the other things which has been really great about working with AWS has been AWS Ready program. So we set about 12 months ago to identify a BI partner, a business intelligence and AI partner. We started off looking through the ecosystem that AWS offered, and we ended up selecting Sisense. And because they were AWS ready, the ability to seamlessly integrate it into our environment was quite rapid and saved us an enormous amount of work. So we're really excited by the partnership that we have with AWS and also now with Sisense. So yeah.
That's awesome, Mark. I mean, what I want to know is, can you share an example of a customer that you're working with and how has it been impacted by hosting everything on AWS?
Yes. So a big part of the business model behind our customers is the ability to keep their vehicles on the road. So, these vehicles are a tool of trade. They have an economic value for the business partner that buys them. And so when the vehicle is off the road, it can be quite catastrophic for their operations. The other element of, I guess, the focus of the vehicle manufacturers is they'd like to retain the revenue for servicing and parts within their dealership networks. And so, a big part of what we do is build programs that allow that to happen. And one of the ones that we did recently was working with Hino, where we built a case-managed fault code service. This is an amazing program. And so I'll just walk you through it very briefly. So, in the advent of the vehicle generating a DTC, which is what we call as a trouble code, that is edge processed via our device. And we're able, because we've integrated our device within the vehicle to the screen, to actually send a message to the driver directly telling them what action they should take. And we also then take that message and we send it off board to the cloud. It goes into our analytics programs and it also goes through into the call center, the tech assist center at Hino. And they're able to outbound call the customer and then manage them into the dealership for a service or organize for an on-site visit. And so having that sort of edge cloud and being able to integrate that under a sort of an integrated framework using the screen in the vehicle is quite unique. That's a great example of how we've been able to bring it all together.
Wow, what an innovative service, and one that's so complex, but that you guys have definitely mastered. And I'm sure that there were many challenges along the way. So what were some of your biggest hurdles and how has the cloud helped you actually overcome them?
Directed's always been very quality centric in our approach. So we've got, ISO 14001 and 9001, we're SEDEX compliant. One of the things we set out to achieve about 6 months ago was SOC 2 compliance. And for any organisation that's taken that on, it's a massive investment of time. It probably took us 6 to 8 months to complete the full process. And we leveraged a lot of capability out of AWS to help us get through that. You know, the disaster recovery elements of it. We used AWS IAM to help sort of, I guess, lock away rights to our production servers. We use a lot of the native database encryption to sort of satisfy the requirements. So AWS really did help us to, you know, reduce the overall impact on our business, you know, through that process. So yeah, we're very proud of our certification. So I wouldn't have thought there's too many companies in Australia that have SOC 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, those are some significant challenges. So I'm really glad that you're able to overcome them. So what's next for Directed? You guys are an amazing company. What's the future looking like for you?
It's really an amazing time in the industry at the moment. I think we're starting to see a realization from vehicle manufacturers of the need to move from selling metal to helping their customers solve a business problem. And so that's a big part of the digital services that we offer, are about making the vehicle relevant to the business of the client that's buying it. On top of that, what we're seeing is an evolution in the technology stack within a vehicle. So historically, you know, companies like ourselves, I guess traditionally would have been called a telematics provider, which is really a very monolithic pipe of data between the vehicle and the cloud. Now we're seeing a fabric of connectivity throughout the vehicle. So for example, when our vehicles drive into the dealership, we're automatically updating the maps via Wi-Fi. We're doing that today. We're collecting a whole lot of video data out of the vehicles, which are uploading into the cloud. Through the radio in the vehicle, you can actually buy applications via embedded SIM cards. We're tracking high value items. We're tracking onboard temperature. You know, we can see very quickly an environment where the cars will start to edge process data and start to communicate with low latency 5G networks. So we're getting this incredible evolution of connectivity and digital data associated with the vehicle. What we're doing is trying to harmonize all that, bring it together in the cloud under a common framework. And we call that the collective brain, which is really about the edge and cloud working together to generate, I suppose, a centralized knowledge base, which we can then use to build out new service concepts. And that's right exactly where we're going. I guess the next dimension as part of that is really about integrating our AI. And so that was part of what we did with AWS and Sisense, was that have that ability to have a BI tool that would evolve into an AI tool. You know, today in our industry, most of the reports tell you information. What we wanted to be able to do was tell you what to do about it. And then, you know, in the future, to be able to have it actually take the action for you. So we can see this sort of continuum of knowledge exchange moving to a much more intelligent and automated model. So that's our future. That's what we're building towards. So bring it on, I say.
Mark, before I let you go, you guys have recently won some work with Australia Post. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So Aley, yes, we're excited. We've won Australia Post's connected services business. So we're rolling out across approximately 15,000 assets over the next few years. We're about, I think, about 3,000 or 4,000 assets in at the moment. We're deploying a video telematics service. And what is really unique about this program is the way we've had to harmonize, I guess, the information and data across the different types of vehicles that they operate. So Post has a very diverse fleet. They have push bikes, they have motorbikes, they have EDVs, which are the three-wheelers, the electric ones. They have their vans, and they have their truck and long-haul fleets. And so what we've been done is we've locally developed a service which, captures video footage and streams that up to the cloud. It's designed around safety use cases. Obviously, you know, when you have a fleet as large as they do, moving it in and out of the road network, you know, from roads to footpaths, etc., it can be quite dangerous. And so, yeah, I guess a lot of the program has been designed around understanding the metrics for safety and then putting in place programs to improve safety outcomes for all their riders. So, yeah, it's an incredible program. And it's very innovative. There's nothing really like this in the world, you know, to have an infrastructure that sort of works across so many different asset types under a common cloud management system using the AWS is probably the only one in the world.
Wow, this is incredible. I mean, you guys are a gem of a business. It's been such an honor to speak to you today. Thank you so much, Mark.
No worries.
If anyone has any questions, please pop them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aley.